he was your man, like on the side, like on the side, just he was not a rapper at all.
Right.
So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. It's Lloyd Banks thing. He wanted that. He was watching them be that, like Mace be that, and Cam be that, and looked at, and it was finally he had one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked, and I knew I just took the shot, Murder, to see, because I wasn't sure he was gonna go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. You gotta watch and see how he's you see, he like, oh shit, he really like that. give me this, Jimmy. Yeah, tell him we want you at the show, Jimmy. Yo, but that was one of those things I just threw it out. Yo, and see.
50 Cent music ain't terrible. It ain't bad. He got some great music. But the thing is, he can't compete.
Right.
This ain't the way you can compete, because it's like you're gonna have to drop 3 dishes to even catch up. And you gotta drop them in 3 different forms. You gotta drop one being lyrical, you gotta drop one being sentimental, and you gotta drop one being very disrespectful.
I think the best thing for 50 to do is not drop anything, just to bow out gracefully.
Yeah, just say, bro, y'all got it.
Do we have an album coming out in the near future?
King. Yeah, I'm redoing my.
Now your dad did it. I was gonna say your dad did an album called King.
Yeah, that's why this one gotta be. It gotta be hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't trying to play with it.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely ain't trying to play with it.
What's some artists that you want to work with in the future that you haven't worked with yet?
Oh man, I definitely gotta get in there with my uncle. You know what I'm saying? Thug.
Okay.
Definitely gotta get in there with him. Who else?
Have you spoken to him? I know Pops did. Have you spoken to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just with him not too long ago.
Okay. That's what's up. Who else?
I would say, man, I'm definitely rocking with Uzi, Dirk. I kind of tapping into the little reggae side a little bit.
Okay.
So I kind of want to get in with Bob Marley's son. Made some with Ziggy.
Okay. I was gonna say, which one? You got like 35.
Yeah, I definitely want to get in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just open to different. I'm open to. It's not nobody. I'm really, as I said, I've been genuine so long. I'm really not looking for nobody. But anybody that's got the same kind of energy or the same type of goals or mindset, I'm willing to work with them.
I like to see you and Lotto get one in.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like me and Lotto should definitely get one in.
But what does Dad, like, as not as T.I. music, as Dad, what does he call you and say, you know, man to man at this point?
Man, he's a father, so now I understand it. And I understand why he picks and chooses when and what to say and how much to say, because he don't want to have too much impact or push his child in a direction that I naturally wouldn't want to go into. So he really don't say much, but I hear people tell me what he say. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I know for a fact he said, yeah, we don't gotta do it's over with now. And I was like, okay, bet, let's do it.
And see, he was your man, like on the side, like in the side, just he was not a rapper at all. Right. So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. It's Lloyd Banks thing. He wanted that. He was watching them be that, like Mace be that, and Cam be that, and looked at, and it was finally he had one. And I just looked, and I knew I just took the shot, Murder, to see, because I wasn't sure he was gonna go for it. But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. You gotta watch and see how he's and then you see, he like, oh shit, he really like that. Give me this, Jimmy. Yeah, tell him we want you at the show, Jimmy. Yo, but that was one of those things I just threw it out. Yo, and see, he was.
Remember this moment. 4 words. Grown man business. That's all it took for 50 Cent to shut the door on one of the most chaotic rap beefs of 2026. But what happened before that silence? That's where it gets uncomfortable. Because what started as a simple Versus challenge turned into leaked federal paperwork, diss tracks flying back to back, graveyard references, family members jumping in, and a 21-year-old deciding he had nothing to lose. And once families got involved, there was no going back. It all really ignited when T.I. went public claiming 50 had agreed to a Versus-style battle, then backed out once things got serious. Now in hip-hop, ducking smoke is worse than losing. Tip didn't frame it like business, he framed it like betrayal. And that subtle shift turned a competitive matchup into a respect issue. This wasn't new tension. These two had traded energy since the early 2000s. But this time felt different. It felt personal. 50 responded the way he always does. Memes, indirect shots, old paperwork. And then he used the word nobody throws around lightly. Rat. In hip-hop culture, that label hits harder than any diss track. It questions your entire identity, your credibility, your foundation. I fired back publicly, making it clear he wasn't letting that narrative breathe. But by then, the temperature had already risen. And then the line got crossed. Instead of keeping it lyrical, posts appeared targeting Tamika Tiny Harris. Then came jokes about King Harris, including comments about his vitiligo. And that's when everything changed. There's an unwritten rule in rap beef. You can go at the artist, you can go at the catalog, but when you start circling family, that's demolition territory. King didn't respond calmly, he exploded. On Instagram Live, raw and unfiltered, you could hear something deeper than trolling. It wasn't clout-chasing energy, it was personal. He told 50 to dig up his mother, that mother being Sabrina Jackson, who passed when 50 was just 8 years old. The internet froze. Some people said it was retaliation. You disrespect my living mom, I mention yours. Others said certain lines don't get crossed. Ever. But King wasn't thinking about public opinion. He was thinking about loyalty. And then he shifted angles. Instead of just firing emotional shots, he hit 50 where whispers had lingered for years. His relationship with Marquise Jackson. Your son don't love you. That wasn't just trolling. That was psychological warfare. Because money can't fix estrangement. And for the first time in this entire exchange, 50 wasn't controlling the narrative. King kept pressing, saying he didn't care about internet rules, didn't care about legacy, didn't care about followers. That's dangerous energy. Because someone with nothing to protect doesn't calculate risk the same way a mogul does. And then it escalated again. Diss tracks, T.I. dropped records, King followed. Multiple tracks in under a week. This wasn't social media anymore, this was permanent. Streams don't expire, search results don't forget. But the real nuclear moment? King posted what he called humiliating files. Alleged federal paperwork suggesting 50 cooperated in a past case. In this culture, that's the ultimate weapon, even if it's fake. And here's the twist most people ignored. Similar paperwork had surfaced years ago and was widely debunked. No verified federal link, no confirmed cooperation. But in a viral moment, perception outruns truth. Once screenshots hit timelines, it doesn't matter what's factual, it matters what sticks. And that move flipped the dynamic. Because now the man who built a second career off calling others rats was defending himself from the same accusation. The hunter became the headline. At that point, everyone waited. Would 50 drop a diss? Would he expose something worse? Would he escalate past memes? Instead, he deleted everything. Every post, every jab, gone. Then he wrote, "You guys hurt my feelings. I'm out of here." Classic sarcasm. But it felt different. Then came the move nobody predicted. An AI-edited clip from the movie ATL, starring T.I., with 50's face deep-faked into the scene. Casual, dismissive, and at the end, those 4 words. Grown man business. That wasn't just shade. That was hierarchy. It was 50 saying, "You're not my equal. You're not worth a lyrical response. You're not even worth anger." And in hip-hop, indifference can sting worse than outright disrespect. Because for King Harris, this wasn't just about clapping back. It was about acknowledgement. Stepping into the ring with a veteran like 50 Cent means you want to be seen as a real contender. You want the cosign, even if it comes in the form of a diss. You want the legend to look at you and say, "You're worth my time." Instead, he got minimized, and that's a different kind of bruise. Meanwhile, reactions exploded across the culture. Rick Ross openly sided with King, which wasn't shocking, considering his long, complicated history with 50. Old rivalries don't die. They wait for opportunities. Others, though, called the entire situation reckless, saying lines were crossed that shouldn't have been touched. Then, it spilled beyond hip-hop entirely. Police departments reportedly had to clarify publicly that they weren't intervening in a rap feud after concerned fans flooded them with calls. Think about that for a second. An Instagram battle, memes, live rants, diss tracks triggered real-world concern. That's how amplified this became. And through all of it, there were no apologies, no sit-downs, no reconciliation posts hinting at peace. Just silence from one side. The Harris camp kept applying pressure. More allegations, more reminders, more clips circulating to keep the fire alive. But 50, he moved on publicly. Back to business deals, back to shows, back to calculate trolling of safer targets. And that's what makes this so fascinating. Because in a culture where loud usually wins, 50 chose quiet. In a battle packed with noise, documents, diss records, and family warfare, he stepped back and let exhaustion do the work, proving that sometimes the calmest move in chaos carries the most weight. He weaponized indifference. Now here's the real question. Did he bow out? Or did he recognize the board, take 2 steps back, and play chess while everyone else was flipping checkers pieces in the air? Because from one angle, it looked like retreat. Post deleted. No direct diss, no explosive rebuttal. Just a sarcastic caption and a deep fake clip. For a man like 50 Cent, who built a legacy on relentless pressure that felt unfamiliar. But from another angle, it looked surgical. King proved loyalty. He showed the world he'd crash out behind his family name without hesitation. That kind of passion can't be manufactured. And T.I. proved consistency. He stepped in beside his son, dropped records, and stood 10 toes down like a veteran protecting his legacy. But 50 proved something colder. Control. He didn't win by out-rapping anyone. He didn't win by proving paperwork fake. He didn't win by exposing secrets. He won by deciding when the conversation was over. That's power in the internet era. Because attention is currency. And once you stop investing in the noise, the value drops. Algorithms move on. Audiences shift focus. Outrage has a short shelf life. So who really walked away stronger? The young lion who swung fearlessly at a legend and forced the culture to look his way. Or the veteran who absorbed the chaos, let the storm exhaust itself, and went back to stacking moves off camera. That's what 2026 hasn't settled yet. But one thing is undeniable. This wasn't just rap beef. It was a masterclass in how influence works in the digital age, and how silence, when timed right, can be louder than any diss track ever recorded. It was generational warfare. It was internet culture colliding with street codes. It was reputation versus emotion. And it proves something we keep learning over and over in hip-hop. The loudest moment isn't always the final one. Sometimes the final word is silence. And that's the part most people miss. In an era where everybody is fighting to trend, fighting to respond, fighting to go viral, sometimes the most dominant move is stepping back and letting the noise choke on itself. If you want more deep dives that unpack what's really happening behind these viral rap wars, beyond the memes, beyond the screenshots, beyond the carefully clipped IG lives, hit subscribe. Because in this culture, the posts are polished, the captions are strategic, the outrage is timed, but the real battle, it's never just about the bars. It's about ego, legacy, power, control. It's about who understands the algorithm and who understands human psychology even better. And as we've seen with figures like 50 Cent and T.I., sometimes the loudest moment in a feud isn't the diss track. It's the pause after it. So if you're into breakdowns that go deeper than surface headlines, if you want the context, the chess moves, and the layers most channels skip over, make sure you subscribe. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who really won this one? And remember, in hip-hop, the timeline shows you the explosion. But we're here to study the strategy. I'll catch you in the next one.